Namaste everyone. Hope you're all doing fine. It's been a while I had shared my reflections of the inner self. I thought it's a good opportunity to talk about Sookshma, my lifeline. So many people keep asking, is Sookshma a philosophy? It's another philosophy. There have been many philosophies in this world. People talk about looking at life from different perspectives. Is Sookshma also another philosophy? And my answer to that is Sookshma is not a philosophy. Sookshma is a practical way of living life at peak potential. Sookshma is not an intellectual exercise. It is not something that we use to discuss some matters or clarify things at a rational level. It, in fact, helps you do things very efficiently at rational level in your day-to-day life. So Sookshma is not just a philosophy, but a practical way of living day-to-day life. We know that in our day-to-day life, we have so many things going on in our lives. Our day-to-day life at work, in society, in families, there are many things that pull us in different directions. And we know that the two things that we can easily identify with are the mind and body. Mind gets distracted and pulled in so many directions, and body is trying to do so many things, so many desires coming from within, and we try to satisfy those distractions and desires and get pulled in so many directions and not knowing how to channel, where to channel our energies. So what Sookshma does is it will take you back to you. You are the center of this action, and you should be in a position to use these two tools. What are these two tools? The mind and body. These are the two tools that are given to you for your sustenance and existence in this world. So Sookshma helps you to efficiently and elegantly use these tools to reach all your visions and goals in life. For all age groups, for children, they can use these tools to focus, concentrate, and become efficient in their education, in sports, in games, in their hobbies, in music, in dance, whatever they want to. And for people who are in youth, they have goals of setting up setting up educational goals and reaching certain points in their careers and making it big in life in terms of contributing to society and making a positive difference in this world. And while doing all these things as a child, as a youth, as an adult, or even as a senior citizen, you have your visions and goals at each stage of your life. And what Sookshma does is it allows you to channel that energy which is behind the scenes. There is this energy, we call this life force. In Sanskrit, it's called prana, prana shakti, life force, life energy. What Sookshma is doing is it is allowing you to channel that life energy in the right direction, in the direction you want. It is refining that life energy, it is refining that life force, it's purifying that life force. Where is that? It is everywhere. It is within you, it is out there. You are part of this gigantic, magnificent universe. We know that energy is there everywhere. Energy is within you, energy is around you, energy is in this planet, energy is in the stars, energy is in the universe. We know everything is energy. That everywhere the life force is there. But the problem is the mind and body, they can drag you in different directions and change your course, change your vision and direction, and distract you. And on top of this, we have the vices sitting in the mind. These vices can create a great havoc in your life. They can distress you, they can distract you, they can destroy you. So Sookshma, the life force, which is within you. What is Sookshma? Sookshma is the microcosmic energy, and that microcosmic energy is the life force. And what Master is doing is, whoever comes to the Master, whether you have any problem at a physical, mental, emotional level, or if you are totally perfectly fine but you want to reach the peak potential in your life, what Master is doing is, she being connected to that life force, that life energy all the time, is able to transmit that vibration and help you get in touch with your life force. We all have that prana in us, we have that Shakti, that energy in us. But are we 100% tuned into that energy? No. Because mind is pulled in 100 directions. We don't have focus sometimes. And we have these vices that are pulling in, getting us down. So what Master Sookshma vibrations do is, they clear those layers of delusion caused by these vices. They purify that life force which is there in you, which is there in every single cell in your system. But we are not tapping into it. We are not getting within ourselves and looking at that energy and using that energy and channeling it in proper direction. So what Master does is, she takes you within. She takes you into each and every cell so that you can tap into that energy and use that energy for noble visions and goals of your life and for humanity. So Sookshma is not just a philosophy where you read a book and then you just move on. Sookshma is a practical way of living. It is a discipline. It is a dedication to yourself. Don't we want energy and dedication and discipline for ourselves? We are not talking about somebody else out there. We are not talking about doing charity for someone, or we are not trying to benefit someone else. We are trying to benefit our own self. It's in fact the most selfish thing, which is a good thing. Being selfish to yourself is the first step in Sookshma. Being able to do charity for yourself is the first step of Sookshma methodology. So unless we do good to ourselves, unless we do charity to ourselves, unless we purify ourselves, unless we energize ourselves, we cannot do anything for others. That is why when people come to Master and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to be able to do so much for the world, I want to do so much for the humanity, she says, what are you doing for yourself? Are you taking time to care for yourselves? Are you taking time to cleanse yourself? Are you taking time to purify yourself? So the beauty of Sookshma is, there is action in inaction, inaction in action. So you act when you need to act, and you rest when you need to rest. In the times of inaction, that is when you are resting, you are witnessing, you are observing. There might be many problems in your life, but you are not becoming victim to those problems. You become witness to those problems. By witnessing those problems, by observing those problems, you get the solution. That is the beauty of Sookshma. And once you get the solution, you get into the action again. How do you get into the action? Selfless action. You are not worried about the result. You are not attached to the result. That is inaction in action. So you are acting, but your mind and body, they are inactive. They are inactive in the sense that they are not worried about the outcomes. You are just performing your duties with a single pointed vision. Can you imagine our lives with a single pointed vision? Nowadays, with so much of information, data, all this technology pulling us in millions of directions, our vision is in so many directions, not a single pointed vision. So what Sookshma does is, it takes you back, it builds that muscle of single pointed vision, it builds the muscle of concentration, it builds the muscle of focus, bringing all the attention back. So Sookshma is a journey from macrocosm to the microcosm. When you are in a state of inaction, you are witnessing. You are witnessing yourself and you are going to the highest state of consciousness, witnessing the entire cosmos. So, traveling from the inner self to the cosmic self. So, you are in a state of witnessing, inactive state. And then, when you are getting into the action, you are coming back into yourself to the microcosm because you need to derive all the energy from the microcosm to perform the action. So, Sookshma is an amazing journey between microcosm and a macrocosm and witnessing all those experiences and assimilating those experiences and realizing who you are, who you are, who your real self is. In this journey, you are purifying yourself, you are eliminating the vices, and you are elevating to the highest states of consciousness. So, at the end of the day, there is this life force, there is this energy. We are energy. E is equal to mc square. Correct? Matter and energy are the same. So what we see in form of body is nothing but energy. It's tons of energy that is reserved in you. The problem is we are not able to tune into that energy. Instead, we are distracted, we are focused all outward, running here and there. Rather, if we can come back to ourselves, go within, and then tap into that nuclear energy which is in every single cell, in every part of our consciousness, then we can do great things. If you look at the past history of humanity, there are these saints and sages and spiritual leaders who have done tremendous amount of good to the humanity. Where did they get that from energy? They were not worried about themselves. They were not worried about their selfish deeds. They were able to do so much because of self-purification, self-reflection, self-refinement and self-realization. We have seen so many examples of that. Even recently I was reading about Steve Jobs. It was amazing to see how he was self-realized man, and through that self-realization he was able to do so much. He has helped humanity with some amazing technology which can make our life easier. But again, we should not become victim to those technologies. We should use it in a purposeful and humanitarian way where it can benefit humanity. So self-realization is at the crux of some of the noblest people in the world. I was reading about Jonas Salk, the scientist who discovered polio vaccine. Absolutely phenomenal personality. He in fact never even took credit for his invention, discovery of polio vaccine. We know polio vaccine has completely changed the face of humanity, or else we would have seen so many cases of polio even today. But today we have eradicated polio from the face of the earth because of this noble man. In fact, when media asked Jonas Salk about the patent for the polio vaccine, his reply was, "Can you patent the sun?" So he never patented the polio vaccine. Had he patented it, he would have made billions of dollars, I'm sure. But his vision was something bigger than himself. So he established Salk's Institute. Today, it is a pioneering institute for studying not only biological sciences but also humanitarian ways of improving the quality of life of humanity. And the rest of his life he worked towards empowering humanity with wisdom. In fact, he is the one who first stated that we need to shift from the mentality of survival of the fittest to the survival of the wisest. In fact, wrote a book called Survival of the Wisest. He said, unless we shift from the rat race of life, of becoming selfish, to looking at the life through the wisdom and see how we can be useful for the humanity, and that can happen only through self-reflection, through meditation, through caring for the self. And that is what Sookshma is all about. We as a humanity need to start shifting from the concept of survival of the fittest to the survival of the wisest. And the reason is survival of the fittest is dependent on power, greed. All the vices of the mind play into action when you follow survival of the fittest. But when we shift from the fittest to the survival of the wisest, we start to use compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, tolerance, patience, perseverance. So the shift from survival of the fittest to the wisest is moving from lower states of consciousness of fear to higher states of consciousness of compassion, empathy, and love. Such is the nobility of the process of self realization. Only the journey within can help people to bring out the nobility. Only the purification process of the mind can reveal that pure self which can help the humanity in a bigger way. Instead of working for selfish purposes, we will start to work for universal causes, the greater goodness. And that is the ultimate goal of self realization. And that is where Sookshma will help you to tap into the highest potential, starting to work with the self to begin with, and then for the beauty and the grace and the goodness of the humanity. So, Sookshma is a way of performing our day to day duties selflessly for our own benefit to begin with, and then for benefit of the humanity. Thank you very much for taking time to tune into these reflections of inner self, and I shall continue to share the inspiration that I draw from the meditations under the pure divine master Sunita Bapooji. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the whole universe be in bliss. Thank you.